Anonimiz Cherry felt small. The studio was dark, lit only by the glow of his laptop. The beat pulsed in his headphones. It was a lonely rhythm tonight. Cherry tapped his fingers, searching for words, but the words wouldn't come. He felt exposed, vulnerable, like someone could see right through him. He closed his eyes. He tried to remember why he made music. It used to make him feel powerful. Now he just felt empty. The silence in the room was deafening. It was the sound of his own fear. He was afraid to be honest in his music, afraid to show the world his true self. Cherry sighed. He pushed back from the microphone. He needed a break. He needed inspiration. But where could he find it? It felt like he'd been searching forever. He stood up and paced the small room. The beat followed him, a relentless reminder of his failure. Suddenly the air crackled. Cherry stopped. He felt a presence in the room. A cold shiver ran down his spine. The computer screen flickered. Purple light filled the room. Cherry shielded his eyes. What was happening? When the light faded, a dragon stood before him. It was magnificent. Scales shimmered like amethyst. Its eyes were molten gold. Cherry stared, speechless. The dragon was real. It was here, in his studio. The dragon spoke. Its voice was deep and resonant, like thunder rolling in from a distant storm. "Anonimiz Cherry," it boomed. "You are not alone." Cherry's fear melted away. He felt strangely calm in the presence of this creature. He realized he wasn't afraid anymore. The dragon's eyes seemed to see into Cherry's soul. "You are divided," it said. Shadows flickered around the dragon's claws. They swirled and took shape. Cherry gasped. Standing before him were figures that looked eerily familiar. One was shrouded in arrogance, boasting of fame and fortune. Another dripped with envy, comparing himself to other artists. A third trembled with self-doubt, whispering that Cherry wasn't good enough. These were his demons, the negative voices he tried to silence for so long. Cherry wanted to look away, but the dragon's gaze held him fast. "Face them," it commanded. "Confront the darkness within." Cherry took a step forward. He had to do this. He had to face his demons if he ever wanted to be free. He looked at each figure, acknowledging their presence in his life. "You are a part of me," he admitted, his voice trembling. "But you will not control me." As he spoke, a light began to glow within him. A warmth spread through his chest, pushing back the shadows. The figures writhed, their forms dissolving in the light. The dragon watched, a low rumble in its chest. It was the sound of approval. "You have found your strength," it said. The light intensified, engulfing Cherry completely. He closed his eyes, feeling its power surge through him. When the light faded, Cherry stood taller, stronger. He was no longer afraid. He had faced his demons and emerged victorious. He was whole. He was free. His clothes were different. Gone were the baggy jeans and oversized hoodie. In their place, a sleek silver suit shimmered under the studio lights. The dragon's image was emblazoned on the back, its scales outlined in glowing purple thread. He felt power thrumming through his veins. It vibrated in his bones. It pulsed in time with the beat still playing softly in his headphones. He reached out, and a microphone materialized in his hand. It was as if it were an extension of himself, a conduit for his newfound energy. He was ready. He was ready to share his truth with the world. He was ready to become the artist he was always meant to be. He was Anonimiz Cherry, the dragon rapper, and he was unstoppable. The studio was quiet again. The only light came from his laptop. The dragon was gone, but Cherry could still feel its presence, a comforting warmth deep inside him. He looked at his reflection in the computer screen. He looked different. He felt different. He was different. He was no longer afraid. He knew his worth. He sat down and began to write. The words flowed effortlessly now, filled with passion and honesty. He poured his heart into his music, sharing his journey of self-discovery. He knew he had something special to offer the world, something real, something powerful. He smiled. He was ready. But in the shadows, unseen by Cherry, a pair of eyes watched. A low chuckle echoed in the darkness. "So the dragon rapper has awakened," a voice hissed. "This will be fun." The figure faded into the night, leaving behind a faint scent of sulfur and a promise of trouble. The evil rap family had been watching, waiting, and they wouldn't let this new threat to their dominance go unanswered. The battle for the soul of music was about to begin.